Welcome back to a new YouTube video on the Blueprint channel. I'm Mibot and today I will show you some typical base building mistakes that were often made by beginners, and I hope that will help you with your next bases, so let's dive right into it. So I will start with the most obvious base building mistake that is made by beginners really often, and can mess up your base really quickly. So that is the reachability mistake, because some beginners don't really know the reachability of the queen, and then some buildings get reachable for the queen, and we want to avoid that. And a quick trick how I avoid that is to put a skeleton trap on the point where the queen stands, and then just see if the skeleton trap reaches the multi-inferno, and the skeleton trap has literally the same reachability like the queen. So if the skeleton trap reaches the multi-inferno, we can be sure that the queen will also reach the multi-inferno, and we can quickly avoid that with placing the wall a little bit behind. And now we can see, okay, here the skeleton trap doesn't reach the multi-inferno anymore, and from this position also, and this also, so the multi is safe from this position, and we can move on. And that's a good way to protect your main buildings and doesn't make them reachable for the queen anymore. And let's see what the next base building mistake is. So now I come to the second base building mistake that is made really often, and happened to me also. That's a base built by me, and that base got trashed really quick because of one base building mistake I made. In every base you have to look that the damage is really balanced, so you have enough single target and multi-target damage in the same area. And in this case I didn't have enough single and multi-target damage in one area, and I show you what I mean really quick. So if you charge in this example from 12 o'clock, then you have quite not really much damage for your queen. There's the monolith here, but that isn't really much, so you can tank it with a skelly, for example, or just one freeze, and then you are through the monolith compartment, and then you can just break on the eagle, and there's nothing to stop your queen. All Xbows are on the 9 and 3 o'clock side, so there's nothing to stop your queen. And that's a good example for not enough single target damage in the area, because we have much multi-target damage. To Lalo through this core is not nice, so I wouldn't do that. But because there's not so much single target damage, you can just charge in it. And that's a thing that happens to beginners also, and also to pros sometimes. That you don't really balance your single target damage and your multi-target damage. There are also examples where there is too much single target damage, and then you can just play Hogs or Lalo through this area because there's no multi-inferno or something like that. And so you really have to look that you balance your damage, and don't make charges or spam or Lalo parts too obvious and too good. So this is a base by me that is makes this mistake really obvious. And also some players did this charge. I think Dark on Top from in ESA from Betzinger did this charge. So after this charge, after I see that, I trashed it really quick. So that's a good example for this base building mistake. And let's move on to the next mistake. Now we come to the third and also really obvious base building mistake that is made by beginners really often, is the zapability of some main buildings, because that's a yeah, I think it's a RPG based, and we have a good example for solving this problem, because some beginners make the main defenses like multis or Xbows or something like that zappable with, for example, the Rage Tower, and that's too much value. So I think the yeah, thing you can do is Xbow and multi Inferno zappable, but that's you should not give the opponent more value to zap, because then it gets critical. And here we have the example: all multi Infernos are 4 tiles away from the Rage Tower, and that makes them not zappable with the Rage Tower together. So this is a good example for solving this problem. And yeah, then you can ask, okay, the Eagle Artillery is also here, and you could zap those 3 buildings, but the Eagle Artillery has so much HP that it's not worth to zap it with, I think, 8 zaps or something like that. So that's too much. And yeah, so we can only zap the Multi Inferno and the Xbow, and I really often see in bases of like base building beginners that the Multi Infernos and Xbows are zappable together with the Rage Tower, and that's too much value. So really take a look to avoid those zaps. And yeah, one more question that is asked really often: if it's okay to have the scatter shot and the Rage Tower and the Xbow zappable, and that's okay because the scatter shot needs 1 more zap than the Xbow, I think. So it's also more spells to invest to get this 3 buildings down, and that makes it okay because it's like more investment to get it. And that's okay to have this 3 buildings zappable, but we really have to look at the multi Inferno towers, that they are not zappable with a Rage Tower and a Xbow. So yeah, that's a mistake I really see often. Now I come to the last base building mistake I want to show you, and that's the mistake that some builders might put no tiles between the buildings and let them be next to each other. And the problem with that is that E-Drag change and also super archer blimps get very much value, and we want to avoid that. So I would prefer to have at minimum 1 tile between the buildings. The best is to have 2 tiles between the buildings, of course, but that's not always possible. And for example, if you have a compartment like that, an E-Drag gets way too much value, and your base also gets very stacked. So super archer blimps, blizzards, or other types of blimps or what else get very much value, and you don't want to give them that much value. So make sure that there are some tiles between the buildings, so there's not much value for E-Drags, because we know it all in low legends. There's a lot of E-Drags attacks, and they can be really strong on very stacked bases. And another thing I want to show you is that you should also avoid to have a setup like this on the outside of the base. If you place the trash ring around the base, don't have a setup like this, because also there, if you put 2 loons from the gold mine to the archer tower, the loons funnel also the gold mine, not only the archer tower, because of the splash damage. They also get down the gold mine, and that's a little thing we want to avoid, because that's too much value. If you put the archer tower 1 tile away from the gold mine, the attacker has to invest a baby dragon or sneaky goblins or something else to get the gold mine. And yeah, it's a pretty little invest to get the attacker to yeah, invest more troops in this funnel. So yeah, that's also a tip I want to give you. And yes, that's the base building mistake. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to use the code BLUE in the shop and subscribe the channel and activate the clock. See you.